Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Andre Rocks, aka Shegun Agu, the American refugee. And you guys have been phenomenal. You guys have been hitting me up lately, and it's been incredible. Over the last 24 hours, since Audit the Audit put out my arrest video and my lawsuit against the Pasco County Sheriffs Department, I have just been flooded with messages from his channel, from everywhere. So first of all, I want to say shout out to Audit the Audit. You guys should definitely be checking out that channel. There's a lot of great information about your rights. And no, I'm not paid to endorse it or anything. It's just a channel that I've been watching for quite a while now. And it's a great channel. I'm not too thrilled with you guys about the A- rating, but I'll hit you guys up and talk to you individually about that. But that being said, you guys have been hitting me up lately. I mean, you guys are hitting me from all angles. You're hitting my Facebook. You're hitting my my email. You guys have hit up my radio station. You're also hitting up, I mean, even my clothing line. You guys are sending messages through everywhere. And unfortunately, there's not enough hours in a day for me to respond to everybody. Listen, I love all of you, love all of my fans. You guys are great, phenomenal, and if I could, I would respond to you all individually. It's just not enough hours in a day, so I apologize, and I hope that you will accept this as the best substitute that I can offer. And I'm gonna try to respond to the questions in general that I've been getting. So first of all, thank you all, especially the ones that are saying, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? I really appreciate you checking up on me. I really do. That's really appreciated. And let me try to answer all of the major questions that have been asked. First and foremost, the biggest question is, can we get an update on your case? The answer is yes and no. Since the last time I gave you all an update, which was about 8 months ago, some things have happened, but very little has happened. So the last time we spoke, or the last time I updated you on my channel, I believe that they had not filed an appeal yet, but we were anticipating them filing an appeal. So let me give you the breakdown on this appeal that you guys are looking at. Generally speaking, if there is an issue with something that the judge has done, the defendant in the case has the opportunity to file an appeal, but they have to file the appeal after the case has been ruled upon. There are some exceptions to that rule. And one of the exceptions is if a police officer is stripped of qualified immunity. Now, as you all know, the federal district court has stripped Deputy Dunn of qualified immunity. Immediately, Deputy Dunn filed an appeal to try and reinstate his qualified immunity. So as of now, in this case, he does not have qualified immunity. So the case itself has not been ruled on, just the motion for qualified immunity has been stripped from Deputy Dunn. Because he immediately filed an appeal on that ruling alone, just the motion ruling, we now have to argue, and we have argued. They have submitted their arguments for the appeal. We have submitted our arguments for the appeal. They are all public record. But we now have to wait. What will probably happen next is the appellate judge, the Federal Court of Appeals judge, will ask for oral arguments, at which time we will do oral arguments. You all know the law, so you know we're going to win those oral arguments. And Deputy Dunn will be stripped of the qualified immunity. Unfortunately, the case in the federal district court has put a stay on our case pending the outcome of Deputy Dunn's appeal. In other words, they will not schedule an actual court date until they find out the results of the motions appeal. So essentially, the wheels of justice in the United States of America move very slowly. But I am continuing to fight. I am resolved in my fight. And the reason that is because I am in a position that I can afford to fight. I can afford the lawyers. I can afford the years and years of hassle and fighting that unfortunately many people cannot. So I am fighting because I want to change the way that police operate for the people that cannot afford to fight. This is not about money for me, ladies and gentlemen. This is not about money. Unfortunately, if you take the guy who was arrested, and because of his arrest, he lost his job, it is about money for him. And unfortunately, that guy may not be able to afford an attorney, may not be able to afford fighting. This case is going to take, it's been 3 years. My attorney assures me we probably have another 2 to 3 years to go. Some people can't afford 6 years of litigation. So we have to stop these things from happening instead of just going for a quick, tasty settlement. I am resolved in trying to stop or at least severely reduce the amount of times that this is happening, because this is putting people in a position where it is ruining their lives. So I am resolved in fighting. I am fighting for all of you. I want to address something I addressed in a previous video as well. For all of you that watched that video, many of you have some not so nice things to say about my father. I'm going to say this again. Stop. Let me tell you the scariest point of that interaction for me. If you watch, when I was asked to step out of the vehicle and then immediately put in handcuffs, though I made no sudden moves, though I did not resist in any way, shape, or form, you can hear an officer shout, "Stop resisting." When I heard that, my heart went into my throat, because my father and I have both witnessed firsthand those words being immediately followed up by gunshots. Those words, as you have no doubt seen, become an officer's excuse to shoot someone. For a split second, I thought I was dead. My father by no stretch of the imagination is a punk. 26 years military, 2-time combat veteran. My father is no punk. My father wanted to see his son come home alive that night. And my father made a decision that if giving them my identification would allow me to come home that night, that was what he was going to push for. And any of you that have children, I have 2, any of you that have children would do anything to make sure that their children come home alive. That's what my father did. So anyone that is disrespecting my father does not understand parenthood. I disagreed with him. But that does not change my relationship with my father. That does not change the respect that I have for my father. And for you to disrespect that man and you don't know him, for doing something that any reasonable parent would do, you're clueless about real life. Many of you have asked me where I'm at in the world right now, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that don't know, I have moved away from the United States of America. I live here. This is my home in Ghana, Africa. I have been here for several years now. And yes, this interaction with the Pasco County Sheriffs Department was the straw that broke the camel's back. Now, many of you that know that I've moved to Ghana, you have asked me, well, why aren't you staying and fighting? Or some rendition of that. Or you shouldn't have left. I mean, you guys have even called me some names and things like that. Doesn't faze me. But one thing I realized is, in coming to Ghana, all of the rights, all of the freedoms that I am supposed to be able to enjoy in the United States of America, I enjoy here. I don't have a police harassment issue. The police are overly anxious to follow the laws here. I don't have those kinds of issues here. I don't walk down the street and worry about whether a road cop is going to blow my head off. I don't deal with an issue of racism here. And many of you have gotten upset about me bringing up the race issue. I've already addressed that, and I'm not going to address it again. I'm doing quite well here. And I'm enjoying the freedoms that I'm supposed to have in the United States of America. So, rationally speaking, if you want freedoms and you go somewhere where you enjoy freedoms, why wouldn't you stay there? Many of you have been asking me about performances. Yeah, it is true that I perform quite a bit less now. Though I did just perform in Bahrain, I'm still performing. I do come back to the United States every once in a while to do a performance or two. But I don't perform as much as I used to. I will be putting out some music here in the near future, and I really appreciate that. But I'm mainly focused on my clothing line now. And that's another beautiful thing that Africa has brought to me. We've created a wonderful clothing line, a little shameless self-promotion here. We've created a wonderful clothing line incorporating modern urban styles with traditional African styles. You can, of course, catch that at yasimba.com. Of course, I'm going to promote myself here. Listen, at least it's not, what's that buying land in Scotland thing? You know, of course I'm going to promote my clothing line. Check out my clothing line, yasimba.com. Yep, it's right there. Just shameless self-promotion. Even if you don't check out my clothing line, though, you know, I really appreciate all of you. The bottom line is there's not really much to tell. We're still fighting. This thing is going to go on for the next year or two. And I'm not going to try and push the issue, make it move any faster. It is a shame that this whole situation has to take so long, because for somebody that is not in a position to be as patient as I can be, because of the positions that these people put people in, you know, losing their jobs, maybe having some social issues, you know, dealing with a recent arrest record, things like that. Because of that, many people have to try and settle these things quickly. And it's a terrible, terrible situation. So we're going to use this case to do everything in our power to try to change as much of that as we can. it's just terrible. But ladies and gentlemen, we've got about another 2 years of fighting. So I appreciate all of your love and your support and all of the letters. Please continue to hit me up, and I'll do my best to answer as many of them as I can within the constraints of my time schedule. But thank you all for all of the love and support. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I really do. I'm not one of these musicians who's like inaccessible. I really do try to hit everybody back that I can. I don't feel like I'm Mr. Untouchable. I'm one of you all. I'm one of you all that makes music. So thank you guys very much for that. And please continue to love. And in all honesty, please continue to support those people that don't have the means. If you see someone on ATA or Lackluster or a host of others that are being downtrodden, please reach out to them. Reach out to them and show your support, show your love. If you can help them out financially, do that. Just please. That's where the fight begins, is unity. That is where the fight begins. And if you can reach out, don't just, make a comment on the video. Try and reach out to them. Find out what they need and do your best to get them what they need. There's a community on ATA. It's got, I think, 2 million subscribers or something like that. Lackluster's got about the same. All of these